I had this final exam coming up for university, right? And I had to study for it if I wanted to pass. I knew if I don't pass this class, I'm going to fail and that I'll have to retake it in the future or whatever. And so I sit down and I try to study. I'm already really tired because I slept like 5 hours last night, like typical college student, getting like 5 hours of sleep. And I sat down, I focused, and I opened the textbook up to start reading. So I could actually like read the textbook for the first time, right? And I'm reading this paragraph, and as soon as I get to the bottom of the page, I'm like, wait, what did I just read, bro? I don't even remember reading this page. So I go back and read the paragraph again. By the time I get back to the bottom, I'm like, yo, I just read this page again and I still don't remember what I was reading. And I've like read the page like 5 times in a row and I'm still can't understand like why is it so difficult for me to understand what I'm reading? Reading is not that hard. All I gotta do is just look at the words and say them out loud. Like how hard can reading be? But my mind can't process it, and so I get so frustrated, and I think to myself, let me just do studying later. I don't even want to study right now. Let me go make food because I'm hungry. And the only thing I can afford at this time is like cup noodles, bro. Because I'm like a broke college student, so I'm gonna make myself some cup noodles to eat noodles. And every time I eat noodles, I always watch anime. It's just something I've always done. I put on like Naruto or something, and I'm watching Naruto while I'm eating cup noodles, and I'm focused on Naruto so much more than like the studying I was doing. And I'm like, how can I focus on this TV show, but I can't focus on my studies? And I know it's not because of the cup noodles, because I tried eating while studying before and I can't, because it's like I'm just too focused on eating that I can't study. So I'm like, bro, I don't even understand like why I could focus on something but I can't focus on what I need to focus on. And then I fall asleep afterwards. I just ate like a whole bunch of carbohydrates. Now I'm sleepy and I want to go sleep because I'm sleep deprived as well. This is why your brain is broken, why you can't focus on the stuff you need to focus on, because your brain is messed up. It's not hard to fix it. People nowadays, they'll try and sell you supplements to buy, like buy the supplement and make you focus 10 times harder. Like I get these ads for this like company called Thesis or whatever. It's like this like nootropic company where it's like if you take these supplements, it's gonna make you study better, it's gonna make your concentration better. It's a whole bunch of like nonsense, honestly, because you don't really need to buy substances to make your brain wetter. You just need to fix the habits that you're doing. And first one is literally sleep. Sleep is probably the most important thing on this list, just because if you're not sleeping, your brain is not working. Don't you think there's a reason why we're supposed to be sleeping every single night? Because if you go even just like one day sleep deprived, it messes up your mind. And it's funny because there's statistics that show that the more sleep deprived you are, the more you tell yourself, I don't need sleep. So when you're studying for an exam, studying for like a test or whatever, the first thing we start doing is we stay up later to study more. And like think about how like counterintuitive that is. Like you're sacrificing your sleep to study more, where instead you could sleep, you still sleep at the same time, but you wake up and then you study more. Like actually give yourself more time to study instead of like trying to cram it all in one night. Because there's the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is your mind right now, like what you think, the thoughts that go in your head while you're awake. That's your conscious mind. Then your subconscious mind is like those thoughts that you have in the background that you're not aware of, but you're thinking about. Like your dreams are part of your subconscious mind. It's like what your mind is thinking about that you're not currently aware of it. That's what you can have like these crazy dreams, bro, that you're not even aware of, but your mind is still like constantly thinking about it. Now here's the thing, all your desires, all the things that you think about, but you like suppress it down because like it wouldn't really help you. Like if you're trying to focus right now and you have these thoughts in your head like thinking maybe I should go out and like order a pizza or something, and then you got to tell yourself, bro, I know I need to sit down and focus. Your conscious mind is like policing your subconscious mind to make sure like your subconscious mind is in place. But when you're sleep deprived, your conscious mind gets weaker. Like you're more susceptible to bad habits, like falling victim to bad habits or whatever, not actually doing what you need to do when you're sleep deprived. This is why like the military will literally sleep deprive you. They'll make sure like you don't get proper sleep so that you're like malleable, you're easier to control and brainwash. So they'll literally like sleep deprive the hell out of you so that you're easier to control, you're easier to like get taken care of or whatever. So that's why it's like sleep is so important, because if you're not actually sleeping, your subconscious mind is going to start taking over, and your subconscious mind doesn't want to study, bro. Now all of a sudden, since you're sleep deprived, that pizza that you want to order, it sounds a lot nicer right now, because like you don't have like the mental willpower to actually resist it. You can't even use your full brain power to tell yourself, no, I'm gonna sit down and focus. So if you're not sleeping, you're making it harder for yourself. The next thing is your diet both your physical diet and your mental diet. The physical one's easy, like everybody knows what the physical diet is. Like physical diet is literally eating cleaner. You want to start eating foods that like are like one ingredient. So what can you find and eat that grows naturally and is only made of like one ingredient? So it's like if you have a potato, what is this potato made of? This potato's made out of potatoes, of course. So it's like this potato is like one ingredient and you can find it in nature, so it's cool. You want to eat meat you can find in nature, and meat is made out of meat. So it's like you can go eat that. But you want to go eat something like Chick-fil-A or something that has like or monosodium glutamate or whatever, like all these like chemicals that mess with your body, mess with your hormones, and mess with your brain, that make it harder for you to actually sit down and focus. You want to avoid those because one, Chick-fil-A, you can't find Chick-fil-A growing naturally in nature, and two, there's more than one ingredient in Chick-fil-A. Like there's the chicken, there's the bread. The chicken has like all these like additives added to it to make it taste better, and then the bread is like a whole bunch of like other stuff added to it. I don't even know like the whole list, but there's a whole bunch of ingredients in it that you're much better off. If you want like a chicken sandwich, you might as well just like get bread that has like 4 or 5 ingredients in it, and you get like some chicken, you like put some like seasoning on it, and you call that a chicken sandwich. It's like it's not gonna have the same flavor, of course, because you don't have all the chemicals that make it tasty, but at least it's gonna be better for your body, it's gonna be better for your brain, and you can actually start thinking better. Now, the mental diet, this is the one that's actually just as important, if not more important. What are you filling your mind with? Like the videos you watch, the people you hang out with, what is going into your mind? Because if you're feeding your mind junk, your brain's not going to function properly. It's the same way where if you eat a bunch of junk food, you feel good in the moment, but then like 2 hours will pass and you feel like garbage, bro. Now, you don't have to cut out consuming content altogether. Honestly, you should consume content, but there's a difference in the quality of content you consume. Like, for example, if you sit down and watch 100 TikToks, what do you think that's doing to your mind? Your brain is just going to be even more fried because it's like it's consuming all this content, like all this like little micro contents, but you're not giving your brain enough time to process it. It's just being overloaded with a bunch of stimulus that your brain doesn't even know what to do with it. Compared to like a full-length podcast, which is like a lot harder to watch because like a 2 hour long podcast, it's like it's difficult to just sit still and watch a podcast for 2 hours, but it's a lot healthier for you. Because think of it this way, TikTok to podcasts is like fast food to restaurants. Yeah, fast food, it tastes good, it's cheap, and you can get like a whole bunch of it at once, but it doesn't really feel as good. It doesn't really satisfy you as much as if you spent your time, your money on something that's like a little bit more expensive, a little bit more gourmet, but it fills you up and you're satisfied with it in the long run. The videos you watch, the books you read, the people you hang out with, the thoughts that you have in your head, if you use junk food to fuel it, then your brain just not going to work. So rather than cutting it out completely, because it's a lot harder to just cut it out completely, why don't you replace it with something that's more beneficial? Replace TikTok with like longer videos that you can watch on YouTube, or like even level that up to like long podcasts you could watch. Instead of playing video games for like the story or whatever, for like the entertainment and action, why don't you read a book that will entice those same feelings inside of you? That's a lot more healthier than you, instead of watching it. Instead of spending time with people who just like drain all your energy and like make you like fill your head with like these negative thoughts, why not separate yourself from them and hang out with people that actually fill your life with positivity, that actually inspire you to actually do more in your life? That's why like the mental diet is just as important as your physical diet. The last thing you want to change is your environment. Now, I remember when I used to live in LA, I've grown up there my whole life, but I had this period in my life where it's like I just could not do what I wanted to do in my life. I want to be a proper Muslim that's praying 5 times a day. I want to be somebody who's like not like susceptible by people around me who's like doing drugs and stuff. I want to like be a proper like role model to the people who I really care about, but I just couldn't do it because like everybody around me is a crackhead. So like what am I supposed to do? If you're the sum of the 5 people around you and you're hanging out with a bunch of crackheads, you're also going to be a crackhead. And it's like it made it so much harder for me to be the person I want to be because I'm so boxed in by the people around me, by my environment, that the only reason I was actually able to make a change in my life was that I took a flight to Dallas and I moved with my parents, and I've been living here since. I've separated myself from all the people around me in my life. I've separated myself from the environment that I've grown up in, that like forced me to actually develop and become a better human being, a person who's not like actually doing drugs all day, somebody who's more concerned about missing prayers than missing parties. And it made it so much easier to focus because I'm not distracted by the people around me, I'm not distracted by the world around me, because it's like a different environment. And not, you know, not everyone can move to a different city. So even in the environment you're currently in, if you can't move, just find like a new place to study, or find a new place to like hang out or something. Like, you know, if you can't study at home because, I don't know, your mom's watching TV with the volume up at 100, your dad's talking on the phone and he's just yelling at his brother or something, like it's just the way he talks, he just yells at the phone. If like you can't study at home because your environment is too noisy, then go find a new environment, go study like in a park or something where it's quiet, go study in a library. If it's like you need to get work done but you can't actually focus, change your environment and see how much more like that actually has an impact on you. And when you combine all three of those, that's when it really works. Like that's when you start fixing your brain by getting proper sleep, not consuming junk content, and like separating yourself from your environment when your brain has time to actually be creative and inspire you. That's when you actually fix your broken brain.